Are you ready?
I is ready.
Excellent. Wow, that is loud. Sorry. John Peckman Podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Come over the bridge, go through one set of lights, pull a Yui, park in front of the music store with the red neon light. Like and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your pets, tell your plants. Come here for music lessons. Come here for vinyl. We have vinyl. You got to check out the vinyl downstairs. We are here with today. Living legend? Can I say that or no?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Living legend. Hilly Michaels. Hilly Michaels. You might have heard of him. You might have. Right? Drummer. I guess much more. But where do you want to start? Do you want to start there?
Yeah. As a drummer leading up to the Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah. Why not?
And then post.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I've heard your name an awful lot around for various different things. So, we'll get to the bottom of it. From around here, grew up here.
Yes,
pretty much. That's
born in New Haven.
Cool. That's cool. Yeah, far out. So, how did it all start? You want to just start from the beginning, kinda?
Well, yeah. I mean, cut to the chase.
Yeah.
I met Michael Bolton, who was known as Michael Beloten back in the day.
Sure.
And when he was like 14, 15, we all realized that Michael had godlike singing abilities.
Yeah.
And we became friends, and I began playing with Michael at age 15.
Wow.
And
you're like his first drummer, like one of the very first.
One of the very first.
Wow, cool.
Yeah. And we cut some demos after Michael's 2 RCA records he did when he was 15.
Wow.
And we got called out to California, and we did a record. We got signed to Pentagram Records, Al Schmidt, Steve Douglas on record.
Yeah.
Company.
Sure.
And we got to about 7, 8 songs. And when it came time to pay us our musician dues, they couldn't afford it.
Oh, boy.
So Pentagram Records folded.
Oh, brother. Over.
Yeah. And I remember when we signed the contract, there was like 8 people involved in the group.
Yeah.
And we were tracking at the famous Sound City.
Oh, that's cool.
And
this would have been what year?
This was 1971.
Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome. And we...
so that's like before Fleetwood Mac Sound City. Like,
yes.
That's wild.
We were using an engineer by the name of Bill Drescher.
Okay.
He went on to engineer and produce Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, boy.
Shortly after that.
Yeah.
So I remember when we signed to Pentagram Records, they wrote the band in advance against future royalties.
Okay.
For like $700-800
to get you out there, probably.
No, while we were out there.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And we were in the office, and they cut us, our big record company advance, $700 or $800, and we had to split it 7 or 8 different ways.
Oh, boy.
So they were hurting for money.
Oh, boy.
The record didn't do anything, but our producer, Michael Z. Gordon, of Out of Limits fame, he loved my drumming.
Oh, that's cool.
And he was using me as a session drummer at Sound City.
Oh, wow.
So,
that's great.
Yeah, I was working with a whole bunch of different artists. And I met this group. He had also signed to RCA Records called Peach and Lee.
Okay.
And they were very Beatle influenced, and I loved the Beatles.
Sure.
And I had about enough of Dear Michael at the time,
Okay.
and I quit the Michael Bolton thing,
Yep.
and I joined Peach and Lee. We went to New York. They were signed to RCA. We cut a single called Hold On,
Okay.
and waited for that to take off. It didn't happen, but I found myself stuck in Omaha, Nebraska
Oh boy.
for about 3 years.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. And these guys were dirt poor, and I felt sorry for the band, so I went out and bought them like $5,000-6,000 worth of brand new equipment so we could go out and play clubs
In Omaha.
in Omaha,
Wow.
in Council Bluffs, Iowa,
Oh, okay.
and
So you could there was some sort of circuit, maybe.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, maybe
In
kind
Omaha.
of, sort of, if,
Yeah.
and
To make enough money to get out of Omaha. Or,
yeah,
or something.
we decided to pack up and drive back to L.A.
Okay.
And we cut about 17 songs together at this really low-key recording place called Cowboy Bob's.
Okay.
And I was very much influenced by Ringo
Sure.
and Mike Gibbons from Badfinger,
Oh, okay. Wow.
who,
Yeah.
other than Ringo, I can't think of a better drummer suited for a band than Mike Gibbons.
Wow.
I think he's been overlooked for so many years.
I'll have to get into it. Yeah. I only know the
He-
obvious stuff.
Yeah, he is the perfect pop rock drummer.
Oh, that's cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll have to get into it. Yeah.
So after recording these 17, 18 songs, we were signed to London Records out there, and I had enough. I went back to New York, hooked back up with Michael Bolton when I was 23,
Wow.
and he was signed to RCA now, and he hired me to play drums on his second RCA record called Every Day of My Life, of which I wrote the title track to.
Oh boy.
And we went to Montreal, and we had Jack, the Guess Who's producer, producing us. The record bombed, and the piano player took me aside one day, and he said, "Listen, I'm in New York, and I'm playing with this girl, Cherry Vanilla, who used to be David
Right.
Bowie's
Okay.
publicist
Yep.
and discovered David Bowie, and she's putting a band together in New York, and I want you to play drums in the band.
Hey.
And Mick Ronson is going to be playing guitar." I said,
Sounds
"Where
like
do
a
I
plan.
sign?"
Right. Yeah. Yeah. When do we leave?
So I went to New York, and we were in this loft, and I saw Mick Ronson stencils
Hey.
on all the equipment, and Cherry came out, introduced herself, and I said, "Where's Mick?"
Yeah.
"Well, he's not showing up today, but he's going to be coming down."
Okay.
He never came down.
Never?
Never.
Oh boy.
So we worked up a set of material for Cherry Vanilla,
Sure.
and we were kind of like the house band at a very kind of underground place called Trudy Heller's.
Okay.
Lots of Andy Warhol,
Okay.
lots of Bowie people,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a great set, and we had them jumping on the tables
Cool.
for 3-4 months.
Nice.
No Mick Ronson,
Oh boy.
but
Sounds like you didn't need them yet.
we didn't need him. We had a look-alike, a friend of mine, who I got in the band.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one of the last gigs we did, we're in the dressing room, And I got tons of makeup on.
Okay.
Mascara dripping from my face.
Sure.
An eyeliner dripping down from my face after the set. And suddenly, Mick Ronson comes back.
Oh, hey.
And he goes, fucking great,
Yeah, right.
guys. And he walks over to me, and he goes, Hilly. He says, you sounded fucking incredible.
Yeah, right.
He goes, Fook Ainsley Dunbar, you're me new drummer.
Hey, there we go.
I said, when
Perfect.
this is over, I'd love to get together with you. And he goes, I'd love to have you.
Hey.
And John, before he parted, he was looking at my face and he was cracking up. And he was going, Hilly, he says, you got to lighten up on that fucking makeup, man.
Yeah, right.
He goes, I never wore that much makeup with David.
Right, and I invented this whole thing.
I invented the whole glam makeup thing. And
Right.
you've got like 10 times too much makeup on. And he was just laughing his ass off.
That's funny.
We got along great. The Cherry Vanilla thing disbanded.
Okay.
And I began living and working with Mick at his brownstone in New York in 74
Wow.
and 75, 76.
Whoa.
And during one of those afternoons, John Mellencamp
Oh, wow.
comes over, and he's sitting around.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
the name at the time he was called John Cougar,
Right.
newly signed to could have been RCA
Yeah.
and Main Man Management.
Right. There was some sort of Bowie connection, right?
And it was all decked out in leather,
Sure.
and he was saying, Mick,
Yeah.
we're doing my album next week. You know of any great drummers?
Whoa.
And Mick points to me and he goes, yeah, my drummer.
Hey.
This is Hilly Michaels.
Perfect.
And John goes, let's go.
Whoa.
So a week later, I'm doing John Mellencamp's debut record,
Oh, wow.
Chestnut Street Incident.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I played on 2 versions of the title track,
Okay.
and there were some pretty heavy people at that session. Michael Kamen,
Wow.
a bunch of people from the Rolling Thunder
Sure.
experience, and Ronson. I did that gig, and then me and Mick are still hunting for guitar players around New York, and couldn't find any. Year and a half.
Whoa.
And then shortly after John Cougar, Ron and Russell Mael come up,
Right.
and they sit down and they say, Mick, we want you to produce our next record
Oh, boy.
on our new label, Columbia. You know of any great
Right,
drummers?
Right. Just, I got the drummer. Yeah.
And here it goes again. He goes,
Wow.
my drummer,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hilly Michaels.
Hey.
And they said, oh, great. And Mick goes, you want to go downstairs and jam? And they had Sal Maida with them from Roxy Music.
Wow.
So we went to the rehearsal room. We jammed. And everyone had their cassette players going on.
Mhm.
Must have been about 10 of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Mick was working on the material for the upcoming new Sparks record.
Okay.
And long story short, Mick backed out of producing them because they wanted him to join the band. He didn't want to join the band, but he said, Hilly, do the record, tour with Sparks.
Yep.
He says, don't worry about me. I'll be okay.
Yeah. Right.
But I want you to do this.
Hey, that's cool.
So Rupert Holmes is the new designated,
Yeah.
from Mick Ronson to Rupert Holmes.
I know. I read that in your. I did some research, and I'm like, what?
Unbelievable.
What's up with Rupert Holmes?
What's up with Sparks?
What's up with Sparks? That's
So
funny.
we cut the record, and they're mixing it, and Rupert's, doing a great job. And the record comes out, and they decide to call it Big Beat.
Oh,
And here, I was a Sparks
hey.
super fan
Yeah,
for like
right.
3-4 years.
Sure.
And suddenly, I'm playing with Sparks.
And they're naming the album after you.
And they're naming the album after me, Big Beat. I mean, how flattering.
Yeah.
So we went out to L.A., we rehearsed, we went on tour for about 3-4 months, us and Patti Smith.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Talk about a Fellini-esque billing,
Yeah.
you know? So that kind of ran its course, and Sparks Management sent me, Jimmy McAllister, and Sal back to New York. And I had just begun writing, really concentrating on writing funny bubblegum pop songs
Okay.
to amuse me and Jimmy sitting in our motel room. And we go to New York, and we're known as the Sparks backing band.
Sure.
So we're getting session after session.
Hey, that's
and
cool.
Gig after gig.
Yeah, you're
after
like
gig.
the Big Beat. That's me. I'm that guy.
Yeah, I'm that guy.
Yeah.
So things were kind of drawing up, but I was working with Genya Ravon and Ellie Greenwich.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Yep.
And I was home visiting my parents, really depressed, saying, what the hell am I going to do now?
Oh, boy.
And somebody gave me a tip that Dan Hartman, the guy who wrote Free Ride from the Edgar Winter Band,
Right. Sure.
was putting a band together, and he lived in Westport, Connecticut.
Oh,
And
wow.
I should contact him.
He's the bass player, right?
He was the bass
Okay.
player.
Yep.
And he wrote Free Ride. And,
Instant replay. Or
well,
no.
That came after.
Okay. Yeah.
But with
I was a disco kid, so I remember that.
with
one.
the Edgar Winter Band, he wrote, with the exception of Frankenstein,
Okay. So he was the guy.
he was the guy.
Yeah.
And I called information. I said, do you have a listing in Westport for Dan Hartman?
Whoa.
Never thinking I'm going to reach him. She gave me 2 or 3 numbers.
Yeah.
First call. Hello?
Yeah.
I go, hi, I'm looking for Dan Hartman. This is Dan. I said, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking for Dan Hartman.
The rock star.
The rock star, the musician.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's me. So I tell him who I am and what I've been doing. And we're having a great conversation. And I said, I just got off a record and a tour with Sparks. And Dan freaks out. He goes,
Oh, wow.
Sparks!
Yeah.
That's my favorite rock band. I love them.
Yeah.
You got to come up.
Yeah. Perfect.
So I met Dan, and we got off great together. And he said, I want you to be my drummer. And we got to put together the Dan Hartman Band.
Okay.
So we were searching for guitar players for about a year.
Oh, wow.
Going to L.A., looking,
Wow.
going,
Crazy.
flying people in from Canada. And Dan had an amazing studio in this like 4-story old mansion in Westport. And he had a full 24-track studio. And let me back up.
Yeah.
By that time, meeting Dan, after Sparks, I had called up Rupert, and I said, would you help me with some demos that I'm doing?
Right.
Which was Calling All Girls and a couple others that appeared on Calling All Girls,
Sure.
my debut record. So Rupert brought him to a certain point, And then he kind of faded after 4 or 5 sessions.
Yeah.
And I said to Dan, would you help me finish up my demos?
Yeah, right.
So me and Dan finished up my demos. And I did a session while I was working with Dan at Big Sound Records in Wallingford.
Oh, wow.
And it was Roger Seareel.
Oh, wow. Sure.
His first LP.
Wow.
And I just showed up.
Yeah.
And this guy, George Smith, a.k.a. G.E. Smith,
Sure.
walks in. And we're flying through the songs.
Yeah, right, right.
And G.E. is just playing like astronomical.
Sure, sure.
And we cut the record in one afternoon.
Wow.
Came out like magic.
Wow.
So powerful.
Hey, that's cool.
And I get on the phone and I say, Dan, I found our missing guitar player. I just did a session with him.
Yeah, yeah.
He's the guy.
Yeah, yeah.
So I bring GE to Westport. We show up and Dan goes, I found another guitar player,
Oh, boy.
Vinny Cusano, who turned out to be Vinnie Vincent.
Right. Oh, boy.
So
It's crazy. Are you making this up?
no, it sounds crazy,
I know,
right?
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we're putting this power pop band together,
Yeah, yeah.
rehearsing month after month.
Wow.
And we go out, we play a couple of gigs. And Dan liked my demo of Calling All Girls.
Okay.
So we included that in the set.
Oh, boy.
And we played Toad's Place, played a couple of gigs in Westport. And we're doing this for about 3-4 months. And one day we show up at Dan's, and he said, listen to what I just did. And he plays us this disco song, Instant Replay.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And he said, I brought it down to Studio 54. The people went crazy.
Yeah, right, right.
And Dan was still signed to Blue Sky.
Okay.
And they put it out as a single. It went to #1
Yep.
on the dance charts. And we went off on a 3-month lip sync tour.
Oh, wow.
All over Europe,
Right.
lip syncing the Instant Replay.
Right.
We come back. We cut the rest of the disco album.
Whoa.
And GE and Vinny are going, man, I didn't sign up
Right,
to
right.
do
That's,
disco,
that's
man.
what I'm thinking. I'm like, how does this even...
So we cut the record,
Yeah.
and then we do another 3 months of American TV,
Oh, boy.
lip syncing,
Yeah.
Soul Train,
Sure.
Dinah Shore,
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
you name it.
right. John Davidson show.
Oh, everybody. So we're doing 6 months of lip syncing,
Oh, boy.
the Instant Replay.
Yeah. Well,
And then GE kind of like wanders off, and Vinny kind of wanders off.
right.
And I had these 3 powerful demos that Dan helped me with. And just so happened, somebody wanted to hire me for a gig. Lorna Luft's husband, Jake Hooker, he wrote I Love Rock and Roll.
Okay.
He was a big pop star in England.
Yeah, right.
I went up to their apartment. He wanted to use me on a Jerry Lewis telethon. I looked in my schedule. I said, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
And as I'm leaving, I said, by the way, Jake, I said, you love pop music, right?
Right.
You want to hear my my 3 demos I've been working on for 2.5, 3 years?
Sure.
And he goes, sure. And he plays Calling All Girls.
Yeah.
He looks at me. He jumps up from the couch, stops the tape, and he goes, who is this? I said, it's me.
Yeah.
He said, who wrote it? I said, I did. Who
Yeah.
produced it? I did. Who's playing on it? I said, mostly me
Yeah,
and
yeah, sure.
Rupert,
Yeah.
Mick Ronson,
Yeah.
all my friends help me. He goes, I could get you a recording contract in a week.
Sounds great. Let's do that.
I said, let's do that, John.
Yeah.
So a week later, he calls me up and he said, Hilly, he's sitting down.
Oh,
I
boy.
just got you a multi-million-dollar recording contract with Warner Brothers. And guess who wants to produce you?
I can't even imagine.
Roy Thomas Baker.
Right. Yeah.
So here I am, a session drummer.
Right. Sure.
Now,
Yeah, now you're the dude.
a solo artist
Wow.
with Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I had a prior commitment to go on tour for 3 months with the Hunter Ronson
Sure.
tour,
Yeah.
promoting You're Never Alone with the Schizophrenic. I did that for 3 months, and I had to say goodbye to my friends. I said, I got to get ready for my record,
Sure.
and wrote a few more songs for Warner's, and they said, okay, let's sign the contracts. Oh, and then Chapel Music calls me up,
Oh boy.
and they give me a ton of money.
Oh, awesome.
And they said, you are going to be bigger than Michael Jackson.
Whoa.
You're going to be bigger than Prince.
Right.
You're going to be bigger than this one and that one.
Sure.
I said, okay.
This is what year? Just so I can.
1979,
Okay.
John.
All right.
So I said, let the good times roll.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Fight over me.
Yeah, fight over
yeah,
me.
go ahead.
And there were other record companies trying to outbid Warner.
Right. Right. Now they're coming around. Yeah.
And world famous record producers are calling me up at
Hey.
my mother's home. Like people,
Wow.
major producers.
Just from that demo. Just from the demos.
Just from the demos.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I'm sorry, but I got Roy Thomas Baker.
Yeah.
So I put a band together. I made Dan Hartman my bass player and
wow.
arranger.
Sure.
And
Throw him a bone. You know what the hell. Right.
Dan was a multi-instrumentalist.
Yeah.
And an amazing singer. And he could play everything. I said, Dan, you've got to be my right arm on this record, man.
Yeah.
And I called up G.E. Smith.
Sure.
And I called up all my friends. And Roy's bringing in guys from the Cards to play synth.
Nice.
And Davey Johnstone
Sure.
from Elton's band.
Sure.
And we cut the record. And
Where did you record it?
we recorded it at a studio I can't remember
okay.
the name
No,
of
it's not
in
important.
the city.
Yep.
And it sounded freaking powerful,
Okay.
but Roy was not a fan of my vocal. He wanted me to sound either like Freddie Mercury, who he had produced,
Okay.
or Steve Tyler from
Yeah.
Journey, who
Yeah.
he had produced,
Yeah.
or the guy from Yes,
Yeah.
who he produced,
Yeah.
or the guy from the Cars, Ben Orr.
Sure.
I said, Roy,
Yeah. I'm not that guy.
I'm not that killer singer.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is slow the tape down, let me sing a vocal,
Yep.
double track it,
Yep.
bring it up
Yep.
to pitch,
Yep.
like Dan Hartman told me to do,
Okay.
but he would not do that.
Oh wow.
So he mixed the record, and I was not happy with the mix.
Oh boy.
I thought I had at least a half a dozen potential number one songs on there.
Sure.
And Warner said, we want you to go out and tour now. And I said, I'm not going to go out and tour until you guarantee me a hit record.
Whoa.
Then I'll put a band together and I'll go out and tour.
Sure. And you're going to be up front.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you need a drummer.
I needed
We'll get to
a
that.
drummer,
Yeah.
and it was a standoff.
Oh boy.
Go out and tour, and we'll give you a top 10 single. And
Yeah.
I said, no, you get me chart action,
Yeah.
or I don't tour.
I got you.
Because I knew, John, that I was not going to go out there and be a front man like Freddie Mercury
Right.
or Springsteen
Sure.
and win over thousands of people
Okay.
with my amazing average voice.
Okay.
I mean, it was good.
But they thought that, or that's just the only way they could see it. that was how they created success. So,
by going out and touring.
yeah.
But before that happened, I said, look, I want to make an animated video, and I want it to be a cartoon.
Okay.
And I want to come off as like half human, half cartoon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I want someone like Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah,
do
right,
it.
right.
And instead of giving a new artist $30,000-$40,000
Yeah.
to do a video,
Yeah.
Jake, my manager, talked him into backing me with $100,000 to do a video. This guy, Gary Gutierrez, sent a audition reel. He had just done an animated rock video for the Grateful Dead.
Okay.
And I watched it, and I said, that's the guy, Gary Gutierrez.
Cool.
And flew out to San Francisco, kept calling all girls. Warner's was head over heels about it. And it got played on every music station.
Yeah.
You open up the TV Guide, for those who remember TV Guides,
Sure.
and it was out there for almost a year before MTV.
Wow.
So
That's better than touring. Touring. That's the idea, right?
yeah, but they
Maybe.
still were not able to get me in the top 10 or the top 20.
Mhm.
And I blame that on RTB,
Oh, wow.
the way he mixed my record.
Whoa. Okay.
He just did not know how to, he was not
Wow.
a hands-on producer like Mike Chapman, who wanted to
Sure.
do my record,
Okay.
or Todd Rundgren.
Right.
Roy was
see.
an engineer.
And that was, they just assigned him the gig. So you
Yeah.
couldn't, he came with the deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, these years, 78, 79,
Sure.
80,
They think he's a sure shot, so they just boom,
right,
just do
right. They thought that he was responsible for all these Bohemian Rhapsody harmonies.
this. Right, right.
They didn't realize that all Roy did
Oh boy.
was put out microphones, 27 mics on a drum set, and just record the band and let the band produce themselves. But they gave Roy a production credit
Oh, boy.
because he was a good guy.
Yeah, yeah.
And Warner's fell for it. And they
Oh, boy.
said, Roy Thomas Baker's the #1 album producer in the world. You got to use him.
Right.
So I'm not going to fight him.
So you're like wrong place, wrong time for you, kind of.
Wrong record producer.
Yeah, yeah.
Todd Rundgren wanted to produce me.
He probably would have figured it out.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I
a
mean?
hands-on producer.
Right.
Roy just twiddled knobs and set microphones up
Yep.
and lucked out
Yep.
and got producer credit.
Okay.
But Roy Thomas
Are we going to
Baker-
get in trouble for saying this?
No. Roy
Not
knows.
that anybody's. All right.
Roy knows.
I don't care. They'll never find us.
Roy knows.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant genius engineer,
Okay.
but he does not organize harmonies or guitar parts.
I got you.
He's
Yep.
not an arranger.
Yep.
And I had to rely on Dan Hartman for that. And Dan and Roy clashed.
Oh, no.
And anyway, we
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
Calling All Girls, the video. It was out for a year. And then MTV happened,
Yeah.
and it was in heavy rotation.
Because you had one ready to go.
Right.
Right.
And MTV loved it. And then I had a second video I did with Gary Gutierrez. Incidentally, Gary Gutierrez went on to do all the special effects for all the right stuff.
Oh, okay.
So he won an Oscar
Yeah.
shortly after he did my
Sure.
video.
Wow.
So I was hanging out with really
Yeah,
good
yeah.
people.
Yeah.
But my album did not go through the roof, and Warner's could not figure out why. And I tried telling him, if you only listened to me
Yeah.
7 months ago,
Yeah.
I told you he was not the ideal producer for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
You know, I give him his props
Mm-hmm.
for miking the bands,
Yeah.
but
But you would have went with Todd or who else?
Todd Rundgren, the engineer, the producer for Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. Major.
Like Bob Ezrin?
Bob Ezrin calls me up.
Whoa.
Hilly, I
Hey.
want to produce your record.
Gee whiz.
I said, Bob, I'm
Yeah.
honored,
Yeah.
but
RTB's on the ink. He's
I am
Yeah.
stuck with RTB.
oh boy.
He goes, Roy Thomas Baker.
Oh no.
He's an engineer. Come on,
Oh.
Hilly.
Yeah.
I said, I can't do it, Bob.
Yeah.
My hands are tied. And at the time, John, I did what I was told.
Right. You think they have all the answers. They must have all the answers, right?
I thought they were a hit machine.
Sure.
And I thought maybe this guy, Roy Thomas Baker, who I had met several times before and knew that
Yeah.
he was not a good fit,
Okay.
I kind of quizzed him about
Oh boy.
production, and he wasn't coming up with the right answers. And I told Warner's, and they said, no.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
And even Ian Hunter, who first thought that Roy would be a great producer, said to me, Hilly, I changed my mind. Don't use Roy is not the right guy for
Oh
you.
no.
And Michael Chapman
Yep.
at the time was chomping at the bit
Sure.
to produce my record.
Right.
He was
He probably would have gotten it.
he
right?
was
Yeah.
the guy.
Yeah. Sure.
But Warner's was not sold on Mike Chapman.
Huh.
And so I did Calling All Girls. I did Lumia, my second Warner's record. And to appease Warner Brothers, I went out and did 3 or 4 gigs. And I hired a band. And I said, you know what? Calling All Girls is not charting, no matter how many times they're playing my video.
Sure.
And to this day, people are discovering Calling All Girls, the video,
Yeah.
and they're going bonkers
Yeah.
over
Right.
it
Right. Sure.
because it was done using rotoscoping,
Okay.
animation.
Yeah.
So it's timeless.
Yeah. Right.
Cartoon
Sure.
is timeless.
Sure.
And I knew it at the time. But after Lumia, somebody from Copenhagen, Medley Records, said, we want you to come to Denmark and produce our 2 top bands. Band called Cliché, with a K,
Yep.
and another band called the Delta Cross Band. So I said, I'd love to. And I got on a plane, went to Denmark for 3 months during the summer. Incredible time.
Yeah.
And this band Cliché was so cutting edge. You could find their music on YouTube. And after that, I went back to New York City and began producing people. By that point, I was working with Ellen Foley again,
Okay.
not as a drummer
Okay.
on her debut album, but as her record producer.
Wow.
And I produced a number of other acts. And then Ian asked me to do his, to play drums on his, what's it called? All the Good Ones Are Taken record. And I did that and was kind of winding down, playing gigs here, producing people. Oh, I started my own production company and began producing people around the Connecticut area.
Okay.
I had a production company called Chewable Music Productions. And I produced about 15 acts.
Nice.
Yeah, people who had potential.
Yeah.
And I would produce them for 3 months. In 1990, the last gig of note I did, I got a call to play at Ronnie Wood's birthday party in Palm Beach or Miami.
Yeah, yeah.
At his club called Woody's on the Beach with Don Covey,
Yeah.
the legendary Don Covey,
Sure. Soul singer.
Chain of Fools,
Yeah, sure.
Have Mercy.
Right.
And he was the singer, and Ron Wood was guesting, and Clarence Clemens, not Clarence Clemens, the Stone sax player.
Bobby Keys.
Bobby Keys was there, Harvey Mandel,
Wow.
legendary blues guy.
Yep.
Jerry Tremont on bass.
Sure.
We did 2 nights there. I got married to this girl I met in the Dominican Republic, and she got so jealous of me locking myself in my production room and writing music, she began crying and moaning.
Oh, boy.
Please, Michael, don't leave me alone in the room. I said, okay, Mary, I'll put down music for a while. We went to Jamaica, and I was going to the islands quite a bit, John. I should back up a little and tell you that in 1980, when Calling All Girls was about to release, Gene and Paul wanted me to join Kiss. And they said, you got to join the band. I said, I can't join the band. I got a record coming out
Yeah.
in like 2 weeks.
Crazy.
But you gotta play with us.
Whoa.
I said, I'd love to, but I can't.
Yeah. I got this thing.
So in 1990, 10 years later, I'm in Jamaica with my wife, and I get a knock on the door from some Jamaican kid, friend, and he says, Hilly, you have a phone call from Mr. Gene Simmons from Kiss.
And you're like, tell him I don't want to be in his stupid band.
I get on the phone, he goes, Hilly, are you playing fucking reggae over there?
Yeah.
I said, as a matter of fact, I am, Gene.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
And he said, look, Paul and I want you to join the band. 10 years later.
Yeah, you're like, I told you no for the last time.
I told you 10 years ago. I'm sorry, Gene.
Yeah.
I'm
Wow.
honored, but I can't do it. I
Whoa.
just got married. I'm on a 3-month honeymoon here in Jamaica.
Wow.
And wow.
That's crazy.
I lived in Florida for from 94 to 2000, and I worked for the Board of Tourism, promoting tourism in Florida. And in 2003, John, I began working for a theater here, Long Wharf Theater, as a caller, calling up patrons, trying to get them to sell subscriptions.
Okay.
And I did so well. This massive company that had 50 managers throughout the country heard about me.
Yeah.
You're making more sales than the entire room put together. We want you to be a manager for SDNA telesales.
Okay.
So I said, okay. They fly me out to California. They give me a 2-week crash course. They send me to Washington, D.C. Opera, and I trained there. And then they sent me to I got a divorce in 2000, by the way. So this is 2003. I am now working as a marketing and development guy for a company called SDNA Telemarketing.
Okay.
And I was a manager in development manager for the Cleveland Opera House.
Okay.
And it was amazing.
Wow.
It was great.
Whole other world.
I hired 15 people. I taught them how to talk. And I did so well, they didn't want to give me back up to my company.
Oh, wow.
So I finished that, and then my company sent me to the Detroit Opera House, where I worked for 9 months, and I did terrific there. And then they sent me to Richmond, New York, and I worked for a musical theater there. And then they sent me to the Oregon Ballet Theater for 9 months.
Wow.
And I was rocking it, John.
What was the secret? Did you know that you just had a way of talking to people?
I did not know that I had this innate
Right.
marketing
Yeah, and there you
ability.
are. Yeah.
After all, I sold Warner Brothers a bill of goods for $1 million.
Yeah, you must be good. Yeah.
I was talking to a room with Jerry Wexler, Mo
Right.
Austin.
So you ain't afraid of shit.
No,
Yeah.
no. And I did not know I had this innate quality.
Hey.
So in 2009, after doing like 8 of these marketing campaigns
Sure.
for the fine arts, I decided enough. I want to play music again.
Okay.
And I called up a friend in Shelton, and I said, look, I want to do a third Hilly Michaels record, indie. And
Yeah.
he said, sure, come to my house. I have a studio in the basement. And I worked there for 18 months, and I put together a record called Pop This. And it took 18 months. 18 months
Yeah.
to do this.
Whoa.
And to quicken things up, like this interview, I flew to the UK, and I hooked up with a brilliant engineer, recording artist, Kevin Hook. And I stayed there for a month, and I mastered Pop This and did edits on it and released it and sent it to CD Baby. Remember them?
Sure.
And I sold maybe 600-700 hard copies. It was nicely produced.
Yep.
And 2010, I did that. And I'm trying to remember where the last 15 years went.
Yeah, right.
I've been in and out of the studio recording, and I've got about a half a dozen tunes, and I'm thinking about releasing another indie record, John.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, I think I'm writing the best material I've ever written.
Wow.
You know, obviously it's matured.
Right.
It's not this, super duper commercial.
Calling all women.
Calling all women. It's
Dean Falcone is here laughing off camera, by the way. Let the record show. Yeah.
So to make a note of this, in 2010, I hooked up with this fellow by the name of Thomas Ferranti.
Oh, okay.
Out in Hawthorne, California. And he began producing these incredible videos for me for Pop This, about a half a dozen songs. And we've been friends for the past 15 years, and he is one of the most gifted artists out there. And we've become really close friends. And I hooked up with Dean
Yep.
about 5 yeyears ago,
Cool.
maybe longer.
Yeah.
But for the record, I did a Netflix. Well, actually, it was a major motion picture release
Okay.
called The Sparks Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
So they called me down to New York. I was interviewed, and that got put out about 4 years ago.
Yep.
And another documentary I was a part of was called Van Duren, an artist on Big Sound Records, who I played drums on for his debut album called Are You Serious? These guys from Australia flew up here about 5 years ago, and they made a documentary about this guy because he sounds like Paul McCartney,
Oh, wow.
Emmett Rhodes,
Yeah.
and, Mr. Beatles, Badfinger.
Sure.
Beautiful voice. They made a documentary, and I was a part of that. It's called Van Duren, Are You Serious? I'm plugging you, Van.
Yeah. I'll check it out.
And the Sparks record, I can't remember the director, but he did Shaun of the Dead, and
Sure.
Baby Driver.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And at the end of this 3-hour shoot, he walks up to me with 2 copies of Big Beat.
Oh, boy.
He said, "Hey, Hilly, I got to tell you something. This record, out of all the Sparks records,
Hey, now.
this is my favorite record."
Hello.
I
Yeah.
said, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah, right, right.
He goes, "No, please sign it."
Hey, that's cool. So he knew.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, that was gonna be the question. What did you think that you, as a drummer, what do you think you brought to it that other people didn't? Do you know, or you just being
yes.
yourself?
Yes,
Okay.
I studied Ringo Starr,
Yeah, yeah.
how he would treat a song
Uh-huh.
and play verses and creative fills into a chorus.
Yep.
And I studied Mike Gibbons from
Oh.
Badfinger,
So here I got you.
who, in my opinion, was like an advanced Ringo.
Right.
Mike Gibbons from Badfinger, I studied that guy for like 10 years.
Yeah. So you're playing songs. You're the song guy.
Right, right. And during my career, I was asked to play drums with Kiss twice.
Sure.
The Ramones asked me to
Whoa.
play. Bryan Adams
Wow.
asked me to play.
Sure.
And Dean, who was that other guy I told you?
Uh-oh.
Oh dear. Give me a hint.
The,
There's so
fi-
many.
the original Phil Collins band?
Genesis? Oh, Peter
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 Gabriel asked me
Gabriel.
to play drums for him.
Yeah, he's a punk.
Yeah, he
I would
is,
have
huh?
hung up too.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? I'm joking. Can you
So
imagine?
John,
Wow.
I
Yeah.
was getting so many calls
Yeah.
right after my tenure with Mick Ronson, who
Mhm.
taught me so much, and Dan Hartman taught me so
Yeah.
much.
The people are figuring it out. You're
And
that guy.
it's like every 3 months, I was like strapped into a rocket ship,
Yeah.
and bam,
Yeah, here we go.
zoom.
Yep.
So I had a really, really great 35, 40 years. Did I forget to say that I was engaged to Marianne Faithfull?
You forgot. Yeah.
In 1984, she called me up. I met her at a brunch, and she called me up, and we got together, and we really got together. And I brought her into Media Sound. I had written 3 songs for her. She provided the lyrics.
Oh, wow.
We cut the 3 demos. We marched down to Chris Blackwell
Sure.
at Island, played him the tracks. He said, Hilly, I never heard Marianne sound so great in commercial.
Hey.
Let's do a record. So this was 1984. We went into Right Track Studios for about 3-4 months. And as we were recording and tearing down, the Rolling Stones were walking in
Right.
and seeing Mick Jagger every day.
Wow.
And, Marianne's ex.
Sure. Uh-oh.
And he's giving me,
Yeah. Who's this guy?
Yeah, he's looking me over.
You're like, dude, you put this down you put this down a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just here now.
Yeah.
You know?
I went to a premiere for Paul McCartney's Meet Me on Broad Street.
Sure.
Me and Marianne were invited by Paul and Linda
Wow.
to a restaurant before the grand filming.
Yeah. Premiere or whatever.
And Paul McCartney sees me with the VJ, Mark Goodman,
Sure.
and he yells to me. Mark Goodman goes, Hilly, come here. And I see, is that Paul McCartney?
Oh, boy.
And he said, Hilly, I want you to meet Paul. Paul, this is Hilly Michaels.
Hey.
Paul goes, yeah, I know who you are.
Whoa. That's heavy.
And we're talking small talk. And then he puts his arm around me.
Oh, boy.
And he takes me aside.
Oh, boy.
He goes, Hilly, you're Marianne's new beau, huh? I went, yeah, Paul. He said, listen,
Uh-oh.
be very careful. I said, yeah, I'm kind of learning that, Paul. He goes, be careful, buddy.
Uh-oh.
Just be careful. Great woman,
Sure.
great artist.
Sure.
Just take care of yourself.
Oh, boy. Wow.
The Marianne record fell apart in '85 after 3-4 months of tracking. Marianne kind of went off the deep end again. And
Paul was right.
yeah,
I guess.
Paul was right.
Paul's always right.
And
Paul's
even though
always
he
right,
died
Dean.
in 1965 or whatever, doesn't matter. Just joking. Even though Paul died in 65 or whatever.
McCartney, right? Yeah.
Stupid.
So, I had so many great adventures, John.
Yeah.
I'm really blessed to be here on your show,
No.
sharing. Oh, I am.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'll
Yeah.
take that. I mean, I'll take it. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm a little upset you won't play my videos, but,
Well, no, hey.
but it's an audio show. I get it.
That is true. I'll put a link in. Make sure people see it.
Respect.
Yeah, of course. Well, I
But
appreciate
the guy who's been keeping me alive for the past 10, 15 years is Thomas Ferranti,
it. Okay.
who's a singer,
Yeah.
songwriter,
Yeah.
a videographer, an actor, and he's been turning me on to all kinds of great podcasts
Cool.
and people. So hats off to Thomas Ferranti.
Hey.
Visit his Facebook page.
Okay.
Thomas Ferranti, Ferranti.
Hey.
And my friend, Madeline Baccaro, Bocaro, my dearest friend for 35 years, head of the Sparks fan club. She just came out with a book called The Infinite Universe of Yoko Ono.
Oh, wow.
And she actually put my name on a sleeve that goes in the book,
Hey, cool.
a quote,
Yeah.
along with some pretty heavy-duty people.
That's awesome.
And her book, within months of it being released, got put in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And Dean is off camera is telling me to read that book. So That's all you have to.
It's an awesome book.
If
It's
Dean
in the
sa-
Rock
if
and
Dean
Roll
says
Hall of
read it,
Fame.
I read it.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, yeah, the Hall of Fame. That's fine.
And yeah, shout outs to Cherry Vanilla, who changed my life.
Wow.
And Mick Ronson, God bless him, wherever he is.
Yep.
Ian Hunter,
Yep.
loved the guy. And Ronnie and Russell Mail,
Sure.
thank you for calling the record I did Big Beat.
Hey.
I love you guys. And John, the beat goes on.
Hey. That's cool. You want to leave it at that?
Sure.
All right. Do you know the? I'm not even going to ask the wrap-up questions. Do you know the wrap-up questions?
No.
Does it matter? Do it. Okay. Dean's saying. All right. You ready?
Sure.
Favorite albums? Give me 5. Can you?
Sure. Badfinger,
Sure.
Wish You Were Here.
Sure.
Badfinger, Straight Up.
Yep.
The first Slade album
Uh-huh.
with Come On Feel the Noise.
Sure.
And Abbey Road
Sure.
and Pet Sounds.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty good, actually. That sounds good. Desert island food, favorite food. What could you eat every day?
What can I eat every day?
Yeah, like what? Like when you're eating it, do you go, "Oh man, I could just eat this only"? Is there a thing, or is that just a me thing?
Yes. A fresh broiled fish
Oh,
brought in from the Caribbean
sure.
waters
Nice.
with mangoes and fresh fruit.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I would eat that every day of my life.
Perfect.
Fresh reef fish
Nice.
grilled over a sand-built fire
Hey.
by the fishermen.
Never had it. This sounds like a good.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I love it. And lobster.
Sure.
I could eat that.
Sure.
I don't know about every day of my life.
Right. Well, yeah. I don't know why I find it interesting what people like to eat. I don't even care about food. I just, for some reason.
Sardines.
Sardine. Wow.
Sardines.
Wow.
I went on a sardine diet for a year.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
No.
Dr. Frank's.
On purpose?
Dr. Frank's sardine diet. It's in print,
Oh boy.
and I went
Dean
on
says
it.
don't read that one. No, I'm just kidding.
I ate sardines 5 times a week. Fish, any kind of fish 2 other times during the week.
Wow.
Sardines 5 times a week with steamed veggies,
Whoa.
and my skin turned into latex.
In a good way or a bad way?
Fantastic.
Oh, okay. All right.
Fantastic.
I'm not sure how to. Yeah. I'm not sure what I should be doing.
I love sardines.
That's cool. Go figure. Hilly Michaels loves sardines. You heard it here first.
Any other?
No, I mean, I think that's kind of good.
Those are the wrap-ups?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah. Yeah. You know, I think that's it. Those are the wrap-ups.
He's friends with Ricky Consiglio.
Which one?
Sally's.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
Ricky Consiglio. He was like my best friend when we went to Cheshire Academy together.
Nice. Back in the day. Yeah, that's cool.
And good wishes to Michael Bolton,
Okay, sure.
and condolences to the Boltons for
Yeah.
about Oren.
I know. I loved Oren, actually. I worked with
Yeah.
him quite a bit.
We were best friends.
That's cool. He was such a funny guy.
I know.
He made me laugh a lot.
I was a part of his first 3 solo records.
Cool.
Freedom, Living Like a Man,
Yep.
and can't remember the other one.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Oren and I were very simpatico.
Mm.
We were playing music together since 1967.
What? The year I was born. That's crazy.
Playing gigs with
Yeah.
Michael.
Right. That's wild.
Cover songs.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, that's quite a story. Hey, come back anytime you want, because I feel like, we didn't even scratch the surface.
There's a lot of stuff.
You come back anytime you want. You know what I mean?
Thank you, John.
Of course. No, we'll work it out. We'll figure it out.
I love your show.
Hey, Hilly Michaels loves my show.
Am I episode 88?
I don't know. You might be. Well, I got to look it up. You're getting there. Why? Is that your lucky number?
I think Bernard Purdy.
Do you want it to be? Do you want it to be 88? Do you want to be 88? Let's find out where we are. Just for the record. Just to sign off.
Bernard Purdy was my idol.
Good Lord. How could he not be? Yeah, exactly. No, that was... All right, let me see which one you are. This will be episode... Oh, boy. All right, hold on a second. Look, I'm just burning time now. This is not good.
I'm pretty sure Bernard was 87.
Or something like that. No, we're not playing ads here. All right, let me see. Connecticut Valley. This is us. This is the videos. You are going to be number 187.
Oh.
Is that good? Is that good or bad?
Oh, that's great.
Episode 187.
187.
Hilly Michaels.
Yes, a lot of meaning in 187.
Yeah. I hope that's not a bad thing.
No, great thing.
187. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to go. Thank you. Come back, please. You know what I mean? We'll do more. Hilly Michaels was here on the John Peckman podcast. Here comes the music. That's right. Damn right.
Thank you, John.
You got it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Love to your audience.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? John Peckman podcast, Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance, beautiful downtown Portland, Connecticut. Hilly Michaels was here. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hang in there, everybody. And we will see you soon. Hilly Michaels, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
All right, now, Dean Falcone, shout out off camera over here.
Oh, I wouldn't be here without Dean Falcone.
A lot of us wouldn't. Oh, okay. All right. Hey, I'll see you later, kids. Drive safe. Drive safe. Like, where are we going? All right, that is all.
If you'd like to start your own podcast, give us a call at Connecticut Valley School of Music and Dance. Our professionally designed podcast space is here for all your recording needs. Rent out our studio to do interviews with up to 4 people, to record audiobooks, social media content, and all other recorded material. Our rentals include a private studio along with our professional-grade podcasting equipment, and we can customize your output to whatever your needs are. We also have green screen capabilities, which will expand to video capability if you so wish. So check us out here at convalley.net/podcast.